Do you ever notice how people love to go up and pet a dog on the street? But when it's a pit bull, people were known to walk away and or act differently. Pit bulls are just like any other dog. It's important to understand the pit bull's breed, the dog owners, and the misconceptions and experiences, including the breed. So today I plan to convince you to change your opinion on pit bulls. Before I can change your opinion about pit bulls, you first must understand the breed itself. Pit bulls were actually bred to work on farms herding cattle and hogs. On the contrary to what people think, bad behavior is not common to the pit bull breed. The people handling the dogs could not afford the risk, so pit bulls were bred to be non-aggressive towards humans. Aggression towards humans is not a trait in well-bred pit bull. It's in their nature to be friendly and non-aggressive. They don't make good guard dogs either, because historically they were bred to be friendly. Above all else, explains a certified animal counselor, Amy Shoha, the author of American Pit Bull Terrier, she says that a pit bull will grin and wag his tail while he's showing the burglars silver because they were so happy to greet a burglar. They make incredibly loving, goofy, and fun family pets. And according to Pamela Babcock of WebMD, pits aren't aggressive with people, but are less tolerant of other dogs than many other breeds. And according to Dogtime.com, pit bulls love people and have no idea that their size is a deterrent to being a lapdog. They're confident and keenly aware of their surroundings. They are watchdogs in that they will alert you of the presence of somebody at your door, but that's because they're eager to greet them. The best way to solve the problem of how people view this breed is to understand the source of the problem: the owners, trainers, people who raise the dogs. It's safe to say that when most people get dogs, they envision owning the perfect pet. One that won't pee on the floor, one that won't jump, one that won't bite, and one that won't jump on the couch. But the definition of a perfect pet changes with each owner. These dogs were not born to be obedient, but through good conduct from their owners, they learn to be well-behaved dogs that their owners want. In short, they just require a bit of spit and polish in the form of good canine manners, and it's up to the owners to provide that etiquette lesson. Aggressive pits are the victims of bad judgment by their owners, but through training and socialization, it's vital. Pit bulls are bright dogs who bond very closely with their owners, so training comes naturally to them. Very eager to please, pits bond quickly with their owners. Through providing mental stimulation and physical exercise, they will create a respectful relationship with your wonderful companion. Without the mental stimulation, pit bulls can become very anxious and destructive. Pit bulls are sensitive dogs who do not respond well to force. Because fear is the main source of aggression in dogs, you don't want your pit to be fearful of you. People will mistakenly assume that you have to use force in order to establish leadership with a dog. But in fact, according to Dog Fancy magazine, acting negatively toward a dog results in bad behavior, just as it does with people. When you call someone a bad name, they usually respond back through calling you a bad name. Pit bulls respond best to positive training and rewards through good behavior. They get bored easily and have a great deal of energy, so keeping them active is important. Positive training is important for pit bulls because these strong, smart dogs want to please their people. Jason Mann, who's been training pit bulls for 11 years in a training center through New Jersey, states that they are outgoing and happy dogs who just want to interact with their owners, and that pit bulls do not respond well to harsh or physical methods. Pits actually make good therapy dogs. Now that you know the facts, being able to visualize the problem being solved is easy. Imagine what life would be like if people were to view pits for the happy, smart, and gentle dogs they actually are. Pits were not always known as bad dogs, but in the late 90s, the dogs became popular among people who were not focused on the positive attributes the dog has to offer, which caused them to end up in shelters all around the world. But the wrong people get the breed for the wrong reasons, which eventually led to a bad reputation for the dog and not for the people that were breeding them for the wrong reasons. With the right information and of course love, less pit bulls will be in shelters or left to die alone on the streets. The incident which sparked my inspiration for this speech was the lack of pit bull representation in society. I have several animals, such as my puggle and my pit bull, and I love products that have to do with anything about them. However, there is no products, such as calendars, magnets, t-shirts, ornaments, anything with a pit bull on them. I am able to go out and find anything with a puggle, which is a very rare breed, which is a beagle and a puggle. However, I cannot find a pit bull that's been around in our world for thousands of years. That's true. But according to most online sources, It's just the latest trend that pit bulls are seen negatively. The only thing that we do see about them in society is negative. Before pit bulls, the enemy was the Doberman. They were seen as the enemy. Not only is it just a trend, but there are many positive real-life experiences that have come about with this breed. The senior editor of Dog Fancy magazine had a wonderful positive experience with a pit bull. Like most people, she was weary and nervous when she was going to a pit-owning friend's house. But as soon as she entered the home, she saw how unnecessary her worries had been. The dog was calm and loving and didn't growl, jump, or bite. She states how silly it was to fear of the dog, and soon she realized as she met other pit bulls that calm and loving behavior was common amongst the breed. We have also seen pit bulls in Little Rascals. Helen Keller, Teddy Roosevelt, and Fred Astaire had also owned loving pit bulls. As many of you can remember, pit bulls were very bad in the Michael Vick case when it was pit bull fighting range. Out of the 51 pit bulls that were seized through Michael Vick's fighting range, 17 have been adopted, about a dozen have passed their AKC Good Canine Citizen test, and several now have become therapy dogs. That was 51 pit bulls that were seen negatively in that case. So pit bulls were never the enemy, they were always the victim. After hearing about this positive outcomes, I hope that I have persuaded all of you to think differently about pit bulls and to help spread my message to others that they are wonderful dogs and make great pets. Pit bulls were not always known as bad dogs, but due to improper or lack of training, the breed was portrayed as evil. As you can see through my images and my dog herself, dogs need training. Here we go. A loving picture of a young boy and an enemy pit bull. You can see a loving dog and a loving boy. All the pit bulls want to do is be loved and love their owners. Lend a hand and go to your local animal shelter and become a volunteer. Be an advocate for pit bulls. You can make a difference.